That's not what happened. You did that to embarrass me. You're way too sensitive. You made me angry. It's your fault.
Hello, and welcome to Mind Blind. Today, we're going to talk about something that creeps up on you slowly, almost imperceptibly, until you realize you've been drawn into someone else's.
Distorted world.
I'm talking about gaslighting, that quietly invasive process where someone manipulates you into questioning your own reality, your own sanity, your own self. How do you know it's happening? And what can you do about it? Stick around to find out. Here's the deal. If you've heard the same loud, emotional message repeated over and over, like, that's not what happened, this is what happened, so many times that you start to wonder if maybe they're right, then you know how powerful this tactic can be. Reality, on the other hand, is what we all have in common. It's what's tangibly in the room, not what's in the mind. It's not what we fear might happen or some story about why something happened. The thing that happened is the thing that happened. Giving it a reason doesn't change it. For instance, you're simply chatting with someone and suddenly they blow up in anger. They insist you caused it. But in reality, it's their anger, not yours. Each of us owns our own words, feelings, and actions. No one else is responsible for them. The moment we lose that clarity, we start losing ourselves, blurring the line between what's ours and what's theirs. Before long, we're tiptoeing around them, terrified of provoking the next angry outburst. That's the birth of gaslighting, where you unwittingly place yourself in a victim role. Gaslighting can happen anywhere, at home, at work, even between political leaders and the people they serve. It involves denying facts, twisting events, and ultimately making you doubt what's real. Why would someone do that, you might ask? There are many reasons, but one of the biggest is the sense of power it gives them. Usually they feel inferior, and they can flip the script by making you feel inferior. It doesn't even matter whether you believe it or feel it or not. They feel better just saying it. Challenge them with the truth, and they get angry because to them, their distorted story is reality. Let's take examples. You pour your heart into a painting, and your partner claims any compliments you got were pure pity. Eventually, you wonder if you really have any talent at all. Or you plan a coffee date, and your friend cancels last minute, only to later tell everyone you never showed up. You start doubting your own memory of the date and time. Or you come home thrilled about a big win at work, but your partner downplays it, saying you're overhyping your success. After a while, you're not even sure you accomplished anything worth celebrating.
Wait, what?
In each of these cases, seek the concrete evidence. Look at the comments on social media. Check the texts about the coffee date, or review what actually happened at work. Focus on reality, not somebody else's story about it. Because gaslighting isn't just a disagreement over the facts. It's someone pressuring you to adopt a version of reality that invalidates your own eyes, your own ears, your own evidence. Now, does being unconscious of reality excuse bad behavior? Absolutely not. I'm a big believer in natural consequences. If someone gets wasted and misses work, don't cover for them. That's how we allow reality to do its job, forcing them to take ownership of their actions, to manage or make up for their own actions. If you keep shielding them, you're enabling them to keep ignoring reality. So how do we deal with gaslighting? It's step one. Hold on to reality. Stick to the facts. Refuse to be pulled into a side argument or a guilt trip about how you made them act this way. It's not real. It's not true. If they insist you did something you know you didn't do, ask for evidence. Demand they prove it rather than letting yourself be sucked into their story. Sometimes parting ways is the only option if they're not willing to change their strategies for how to feel better, because that's really what this is all about. Parting ways is far better than riding the merry-go-round of abuse cycles, where tension builds, explodes, and then slides into a honeymoon phase before revving up again. It might sound bizarre, but gaslighting can be so underground that the gaslighter may believe their own fiction. They've convinced themselves you're the problem, that they are blameless, and that you should be thankful for their love or support, even while they erode your confidence bit by bit. If you see that pattern, you need to take steps to protect yourself. Because while they might apologize, if they refuse to address the root cause, the same old dynamic will resurface in no time. It's also important to know that gaslighting can inflict real harm on your mind, your body, and your psyche. Abuse gets established and flourishes where there's a power imbalance, and that's when reality will blur into illusions or become denials and outright lies. It's critical to figure out what's real. Focus on what actually happens and what you can measure, note, confirm, and keep your power and your reality in your own hands. Documentation can be a lifesaver too. Jot down conversations, keep relevant text messages, or journal how events really went down. Separating reality from story for yourself. If someone tries to blow smoke by telling you you're making a big deal out of nothing, you can point to the evidence. Remember, gaslighters want to blur the lines until you can't tell your own thoughts from theirs. Don't let it happen. If you feel overwhelmed or confused, take a break. You can never satisfy someone who makes you responsible for their satisfaction. Their imaginary needs are insatiable. They will always raise the bar on what you should be doing or not doing. Eventually, hopefully, you see that no amount of tiptoeing will ever make them happy. It's best to stand firm or walk away before you lose yourself entirely. Watch out for dreaming, yours or theirs. Dreaming in the mind is all the imagined scenarios you spin in your head. Dreaming in the room is when someone is clearly out of touch with reality, but demands you share their delusion. If you stay out of what's your own mental story versus what's actually going on, you're less likely to be trapped by someone else's manipulations. Yes, these are dark topics, but awareness is your brightest and best defense. Keep your eyes open. Doubt any mind tales that don't align with evidence, and treasure the reality you see around you. If you're struggling, reach out for help, because no one should have to fight for their sense of truth alone. That's it for today's episode of Mindline. If what we've covered resonates with you or anyone you know, please share it with someone who might benefit from some of these insights. Don't forget, your reality is your most valuable possession, so stay radically real and protect it. Thanks for listening. Stay safe, stay sane, and keep it real. P.S. Anger doesn't justify bad behavior. It's just a symptom of emotional immaturity. Doubt the mind, trust reality.